If I do 2 times that and divide by 3, actually I just do, I'm going to get 256 over 3 right now. And on the bottom, 1 minus 2/3 is 1/3. Okay. So how do we handle that? There's a couple of ways. You have all of this stuff dividing 1/3. Well, dividing by 1/3 is multiplying by 3. It's just a fraction. So what I can do instead is I can do multiplying by 3. That's the same as the 1/3. Okay, so all I did is I just put this up here as times 3, because dividing by a fraction is multiplying by the reciprocal. So I just rewrote it. I'm not doing this on both sides, because all this is taking the 1/3 and making it a 3 up here. So this and this are the same thing. But this is a lot easier to work with. You know, when you have dividing by 1/3, most people freeze up and it's like, uh-oh, what do I do? And if you think about it carefully, you can figure it out. But it's a whole lot easier if you put it as dividing by 1/3 and then times by the 3. Now that you've got that, I have this equals this times 3. Now let's divide both sides by 3, and we're really going to get rid of that. Because you can do anything on both sides of an equation, so let's divide them both by 3. So 4118 divided by 3, I need to calculate that. I don't actually have that on here, so let's calculate. 4118 divided by 3. Oh, now interesting. I get a number here that's 2/3, 1372 and 2/3. So I think I'm going to leave it as a fraction for a little bit and see what happens on the other side. So I think I'm just going to leave it there. Over here, though, there's no 3. I have A1 minus 256 over 3. So now I can add that to both sides. 4118 over 3 plus 256 over 3. That one I think I did have. That's what, 4, 3, no, it's not the same as what I thought. 4118 plus 256 gives me 43 plus 256. Hold on, let me get my numbers right. 4118, 256, 4118 plus 256. Look like it's 4374. Okay. And over 3 is equal to a to the 1. So if that comes out to a nice decimal, then we can stop there. Otherwise, we'd leave it as a fraction.
No, it comes out a clean number.
What's that?
Comes out as a clean number.
It does, 1458. A1 is 1458. If it had come to a decimal like 0.25, I'd be happy and leave it that way. But if it didn't, if it was even if it was a repeating, or I guess a repeating, you can make a little fraction at the end. But leaving it like this would have been acceptable too if it came to a non-repeating terminating decimal. This one looks good. So now we know the first term. Okay, so let's go back and review here on this. We used this formula because of the information that was available. Okay. This was just cleaning it up on it. This technique, remembering what to do with dividing by 1/3 and then making it 3, that was an important part of it because it's an easy math thing to do, but it's not something you recognize, it's not something you do every day. So you want to recognize it to use it in these kinds of situations. And then after that, it was just doing the math down and getting the numbers right with the calculator. So these last 2 problems show you 2 different ways. Oh, where did I put that one? Okay, well, you've got different ways to deal with, in this case, finding the first term. We could have done this with finding the ratio. Okay, if it involved finding the ratio, we could have plugged in the other numbers and then just moved things around differently. Or if we needed to find the n, I just chose to do it with the first term in most of these. Yeah.